September 2022, Chris Cabba was shot dead by a police marksman. A jury tried Martin Blake, the officer responsible who pulled the trigger, and found him not guilty of murder, and the Cabba family were left devastated by their loss of a 24-year-old man who was just about to become a father. It can now be reported that Chris Cabba was a core member of a violent South London gang. He had previous convictions for possession of weapons, for carrying a firearm, and for violence. And he had been linked to 2 separate shootings in the days before he was shot dead by the Metropolitan Police officer. Details of these shootings can now be revealed after a High Court judge lifted reporting restrictions. Cabba was at the centre of a shooting at the Oval Space nightclub in Hackney, and the intended victim, a gang rival, was shot in one of his legs. As the victim fled into the street, a man suspected to be Cabba followed, armed with a firearm, and fired again. Chris Cabba would have been put on trial for this shooting, but he died before the case could come to court. These new details add to the already high-profile and febrile environment around the death of Chris Cabba and the trial of Martin Blake. Following the Blake verdict, CCTV has also been revealed of the moments just before Chris Cabba was shot dead and the activities of other officers on the scene. Blake, during his evidence in the trial, said that he fired his gun because he feared for the safety of his colleagues. All of these details add to the public perception of a very controversial trial. A Metropolitan Police officer wielding lethal force on the streets of London, and a man shot dead who was entrenched in violence and gang activity.